Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Jacob, and I'm excited to see so many wonderful, smiling faces coming back from our extended spring. I'm excited to see most of the faces that are coming back from spring break. Now, I can't help but notice that in addition to coughing, you have forgotten to wear your mask as well. Please tell me you have one.
Professor Jacob, look, I'm not an expert in this, but I didn't think coughing until it was much later in the Pokedex entries. I don't know why you're talking about him right now.
Wow, that's not even very original. I'm gonna need you to go get a mask, Corbin, and get back to the class.
That was our principal over the intercom. That's why it sounded so weird. But anyways, if you can excuse the interruptions for a moment, I am joined, as always, by my wonderful teaching assistant, Mr. Curtis. Say hi to everybody, Mr. Curtis.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Professor. I'm really here to serve at your pleasure, okay? And I'm here to make your day even better. So, Corbin.
So when's that going to start?
I'm watching you, Corbin. Get you.
And thank you for introducing our lovely student as well, the young trainer Corbin, who, despite my, warnings and requests, he still decided to come back and not take advantage of the ad drop period that we provide here. But I'm so glad to see you.
It's good to be back. Look, I'm eager to learn, but I mean, it was a long spring break. Like, how long was that spring break? Like 5 months? I mean, I really didn't want to go back. I mean, I've just been used to just kind of laying out by the pond, hanging out with some Mudkips and Rattatas and stuff. I really don't want to come back. I mean, look, learning is cool, but it's like I've just enjoyed my time chilling. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? So I'm not...
respectfully, Mr. Corbin, or just Corbin, sorry. Mr. Corbin.
I haven't earned the title of Mr. yet. Excuse you.
Corbin, respectfully, there's the door. So if you would like to leave, now is the time.
Yeah, please let it hit you on the way out, Corbin.
All right.
Gosh.
I have a question that I gotta ask.
Okay, you know what? Question. Yes, let's open up the class by asking a few questions, please.
Open
if any
up
of the
class.
Students here,
Professor, I am literally the only one here. Okay,
if there are any questions from anybody in the class, please ask them.
I have a question. Hands raised. Woo!
Corbin.
Yay.
Corbin. Yes. What's your question?
I got a question.
Yes.
I was the only one here before the COVID-19 outbreak, and I'm here after. Why am I? Everyone else listens to this class virtually, even like they've been doing that before the pandemic. Why am I still doing this? Doesn't make any sense.
COVID-19. That's, I swear I know every single Pokemon. I've never heard of that Pokemon before.
I've never heard of.
Yeah, I've never heard of the COVID. You said COVID-19?
Yeah,
no, I'm not aware.
Los
I'm not aware of that Pokemon.
Now, I'm pretty sure I've heard of like a COVID-2, but not a COVID-19.
Wait, no.
That also is not a Pokemon.
You guys didn't hear about?
Oh no, I was thinking of Polygon 2.
You guys didn't hear about that?
Porygon.
Some kid in the Unova region, he ate like a Zubat, and I don't know, it just kind of caused something really weird to happen. Maybe that was a fever dream I had. I don't know.
Yeah, think of all the new ghost Pokemon there are now.
Oh, that's true. There's a lot of them.
I know we haven't gotten to talk about any ghost Pokemon yet, but I cannot wait until we do. Unfortunately, to get there, we must first finish today's lesson. Now, I'm sure.
Professor, why did we take such a long spring break? I think the other students should know why we haven't had class in 5 months.
Well, we did have to take an extended break. It was requested to us by the president of the please cover your mouth when you cough, sir.
Sorry.
I will not ask you again. They did ask us to suspend large gatherings, and it just so happened to line up with our spring break, so we just decided to extend that out until everything was safe to come back.
What do you mean safe? Safe from what?
Safe from the roaming band of 30 to 50 wild horses that are tearing through villages and communities.
They just tore up the entire Kanto region for 5 months.
Yes. Well. Yeah, we finally got it under control thanks to everybody made sure to, because large groups attract Tauruses. I'm sure we'll talk about that once we get to Taurus.
Gotcha.
And so everybody made sure to social distance, and no Pokemon battles were held during that time. We all made sure to stay indoors and to hunker down, hiding from the, once again, 30 to 50 raging Tauruses that were roaming the land.
Okay, well, I'm
Just
glad they've been taken care of. I don't know. I just didn't hear about it. I don't know if they've been euthanized or captured. I don't know. I'm gonna let the experts handle it. Not my job.
Well, you know what, Corbin, we can get into that later. I think it's time we start our lesson, don't you think, Professor?
Oh, that's what I've been saying for the last 5 months now. I don't care what the government says. I don't care
Did we
what
hold
the
up?
government
Did
says.
we hold up an entire class, an entire course for 5 months just because Tauruses were roaming around, and we held the entire thing up for one student, aka me, because I wasn't in class? This is an online course. 99% of the student body takes this class online, and I do not. So you guys held up the entire course for 5 months just so I could be in it in person?
Just for you, buddy.
Oh, that's really sweet, guys.
We're looking out for you.
Hey, thanks, Professor. That's really sweet of you.
Listen, out of all of our students, our class is full of bright young minds eager
Really?
to learn. Hold on. Eager to learn.
Yeah.
And then there's you, who, let's be honest, is really the most in-need
best.
student here.
Oh.
Well, yeah, you know what? Best in the regards that you need the most help.
Yeah. Okay,
so,
I guess that makes sense.
So honestly, holding the class without you being here, is kind of pointless, right? It's kind of like a Charmander without his flame.
Because I'm not, I already know everything, so there's no point for just me to be here.
Yes, you definitely do know the things, right, Mr. Curtis?
That's right. This is what did we say? Like my 7th or 8th time taking the class. So
I can't remember. That was like what, 5 months ago?
That's exactly.
We've addressed it before. We get it that you're dumb too, Curtis. This is why we're here.
All right.
Is he dumb though? Because I'm looking at the grade book here, and if he's dumb, Corbin, there just is no hope for you now, is there?
You're not a very encouraging professor. Can we just get on with the lesson? So
I've been trying to, all right? Now, does everybody know where we left off? Can anybody tell me what the last Pokemon we talked about was?
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
Me, Professor.
Mr. Curtis, please, can you answer the question?
That exactly was a Venusaur?
It
the last
was
Pokemon
indeed Pokemon number 3, Venusaur.
That's right. So today we're doing Pokemon number 4, which is, of course, Squirtle.
Tangela.
Thank you very much.
Nope. I see, as per usual, nobody read ahead in the syllabus. You are correct in saying
syllabus?
We're doing... Yes. I sent it to all of you. God, nobody reads the syllabus ever.
I thought that was supposed to be for syllabus week.
Just for syllabus. No, I give you this. I give you the syllabus for the entire lesson. And yes, I do give it to you.
Syllabus week is you read the syllabus and then you pitch it out afterwards. Am I the only one that understands what a syllabus week is?
I think you're the only one who doesn't understand what syllabus week is.
Maybe.
Now,
that might be the case.
All right.
Now, Mr. Curtis did say that we're talking about Pokemon number 4 in the Pokedex today, and that is absolutely correct. It is not Squirtle. It is not Tangela. It is, in fact, Charmander, who is the lizard Pokemon. Now, Charmander, as I'm sure you guys will learn today, is what I would consider. I've kind of coined the phrase. He's a second thought Pokemon. Being that while his evolutionary line is incredibly popular, in fact, I would say that the final evolution is arguably the most popular Pokemon. I'm sure all of you know what it is, so I won't waste time saying that. That being said, because its evolution is so popular, Charmander itself is extremely unpopular, being that we don't really have that much information about Charmander. In fact, you'll see today that our knowledge on Charmander is very one thing focused.
One faceted.
There's one thing about Charmander that everybody focuses on, and because of that, my good friend Professor Oak has sent me one of his Charmanders, so I can do research on it and get a little bit more information on the Charmander species. And so I would like to share with you this wonderful Charmander that Professor Oak sent to me. All right. Here he is. Isn't he beautiful?
Wow!
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well,
Dude,
calm
his
down.
tail's on fire! Put it out!
That's fine.
Teacher,
Hey, listen,
put
that's
it
okay.
out! Wow!
No.
Interesting that you make
Curtis,
that.
get a fire extinguisher in the back!
Bad.
Put it out!
Bad
Everybody
Corbin.
stop. Hey,
Bad Corbin.
What?
no.
Ow! What?
Listen to your professor.
Okay. All right.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that his tail's on fire because that is the one thing that everybody is 100% certain about, is that Charmander's tail is definitely on fire. So I'm glad you noticed that. Now, before I put Charmander back into the Pokeball, I haven't named Charmander yet, so if you guys have any names, feel free to give me one.
Stalin.
No, I'm not going to go with that one. Before I put him back into his Pokeball, is there anything else that you notice about him besides, obviously his tail?
I don't know. He's got
Well,
kind
he
of a-
definitely is orange.
He
I
is
do like that.
orange, which brings up some interesting questions.
He has a yellowish to white underbelly.
Yes, yeah. We'll
Kinda.
call that eggshell for now. So yes, you guys have noticed the coloring patterns. Anything else before we move on?
He's got really nice blue eyes. Very beautiful.
You guys are all about color, huh?
He's bipedal.
Exactly. Yes, he is bipedal, and I would say that he has very sharp teeth, which to me would suggest that he is a carnivore.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably. Anyways, for now, let's put Charmander right back into his Pokeball.
Bye, buddy. I'm gonna miss you, Stalin.
Don't touch his tail, Corbin. No.
Hey,
Hey,
God!
Hey,
Sorry.
Get back.
I was just trying to say goodbye. It looks so cool. Pretty flames.
All right. Well, now he's safely back into his Pokeball, and I have promised Professor Oak that I will not evolve him until I have done efficient research on a Charmander and what makes a Charmander a Charmander. But as of now, I'd like to tell you guys what we do know about Charmander, and I will do
Yes,
so
please.
as we always have, which is by going through the various Pokedex entries for the different regions.
Yes. Great.
Yes.
Do
Good,
that?
sir.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
it's
do
been a while.
every. That's the bulk of every lesson.
Okay.
Corbin.
Sorry. It's been
All
a
right.
while. It's just been a long, long
It's
spring
been
break.
a while. I can't fault you there. All right, so let's start off with our wonderful region, the Kanto region. Pokedex number 1 says,
Hey, that's where we are.
that is where we are.
That is
Aw,
our
man.
beautiful region.
You
the
get
Kanto
one
region. I love it.
star, Corbin.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Thanks.
Ah,
go.
Yes. Good job.
Okay,
Sweet.
Pokedex entry number 1. Obviously prefers hot places. Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
When it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail.
Huh.
All right, hot places, and when it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail. This
Okay.
immediately puts to bed one of the arguments about Charmander in that if it's caught in a rainstorm, it will die. That's not necessarily true. It's just that steam will spout from the tip of its tail.
Okay, well, no, not a rainstorm. What if you throw it in a pool?
That's one thing that we can test while we have this Charmander.
That seems abusive. I don't know if I'm
no.
going to do that. Look,
Pokedex
I've been thrown into
entry number
pools
2.
before. My uncle threw me in the pool once, and I don't have a fire tail, and I didn't like it. So I can't imagine what he's going to think of it. So I still
Did
don't
you
do it.
die, though?
No, because I don't have a fire butt.
Well, you didn't die. So,
It's not
I
a
mean,
fire.
all
Excuse
of the,
me?
all of
Excuse
the
me?
evidence that we
It's
have.
not a fire butt. It's a fire tail. Thank you very much.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse my French, Mr. Curtis.
Okay. The flame of the tip of its tail makes a sound as it burns. You can only hear it in quiet places. Even newborns have flaming tails. Unfamiliar with fire, babies are said to accidentally burn themselves.
Idiots.
Interesting, though, that the Charmander is not itself immune to fire. It still can feel the effects of flames, which seems interesting. It seems like a bad evolutionary path, but, who am I to
It's
say?
kind of weird because I heard about this one trainer. What was it? Ash Ketchum. I think we've talked about him before. There was
We
one
have.
time where he fought Blaine from the Cinnabar Island, and his Charizard fell into a fucking volcano, and it came out and it lived. So
Well, that's Charizard. That's a very different story.
that's true. Maybe he develops it later down the evolutionary line. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's right.
We'll see. We'll see if the Pokedex mentions anything about that.
Okay.
All right. Now we're moving on to the Johto region. The flame on its tail shows the strength of its life force. If it is weak, the flame also burns weakly. Not like once every week, but like weekly as in not strong.
Gotcha.
Okay, I just want to make
So
sure.
the flame is reflective of the overall health of the Charmander.
Yeah,
I see.
very good connection, Mr. Curtis. I'm glad you're following along. Okay, so now this one's actually very similar. It's not exactly the same thing though. The flame on its tail indicates Charmander's life force. If it is healthy, the flame burns brightly. So if it's weak, the flame burns weakly. If it's healthy, the flame burns brightly.
Which is what Curtis basically already said. Yeah.
He did say it, but those are two different Pokédex entries, and so that kind of gives you some indication of where we're at on understanding a Charmander. If it's healthy, the flame on the tip of its tail will burn vigorously, even if it gets a bit wet.
Huh. That's good.
Okay.
All right. Now we're moving on to the Hoenn region. The flame that burns at the tip of its tail is an indication of its emotions.
Ooh.
Interesting. Now, that's slightly different from what we've heard before.
Yeah.
The flame wavers when Charmander is enjoying itself. If the Pokemon becomes enraged, the flame burns fiercely.
Okay, so that's interesting. I would have thought that, sad or negative emotions would cause the flame to waver. But what this is saying is that if the Pokemon is having a good time and is happy, the flames will waver. And only when it becomes mad will the flames burn fiercely.
Yeah, so that does seem to contradict itself there, but I mean, I guess there's nothing saying that both of those things would play a role in a Charmander's tail, in the flame on the Charmander's tail.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so let's move on. Good observation, Mr. Curtis. I'm very proud of you. Step it up, Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Listen, I don't want to tell you.
Hey,
Okay.
pay attention.
I'm trying. Curtis, stop. Leave me alone.
Stop whispering. Why did you have to go up and right up and whisper into his ear? Why'd you have to
I'm
do that?
trying to take notes. Social
Listen,
distance. The Tauros
I
will
told-
know if we're together.
I told the president himself. I know there's no principal, right? No, there is a principal. He just talked to us
There's a
earlier in the
principal.
lesson. Yes, he told me that I can have class again, but we have to social distance. We have to be 6 feet apart. Now, you going up and whispering in his ear? That is not social distancing.
Yeah.
I
Step
know.
aside.
I'm sorry.
Good,
Okay,
thank you.
I need
that's all
to
I need.
assert myself and my dominance, but that's fine. And Corbin knows where he's at now on the food chain.
The bottom.
All right. Thanks.
Well,
That wasn't clear
know
enough.
Know your place, bitch.
Please continue with this degrading lesson for me.
All right, I'm sorry. From the time it's born, a flame burns at the tip of its tail. Its life would end if the flame were to go out.
Jesus.
Yes. So, now, being caught in a rainstorm won't necessarily kill a Charmander. But if the flame goes out, then it will definitely die. That's it. It's done. It has a preference for hot things. When it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail. All right, we kind of already covered that.
Yeah, we already knew that.
All right, I think most of these start to repeat themselves, but I'm gonna read Sinnoh's just for completionist's sake.
Okay.
The fire on the tip of its tail is a measure of its life. If healthy, its tail burns intensely. Number 2, the flame on its tail shows the strength of its life force. If it is weak, the flame also burns weakly. The flame on its tail indicates Charmander's life force. If it is healthy, the flame burns brightly. All right. So we're starting to repeat ourselves now, so I think we can safely say that as far as the official Pokédex entries go for each region, we have everything covered.
Right.
So
Right.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
what would you say was the main focus of all of these Pokédex entries?
The teeth. Definitely, I saw the teeth in probably every entry.
Really, did you? You must have been looking at a different Pokédex than I was. Mr. Kurz, would you happen to wager a guess?
I would have to say the flame.
Yes.
Definitely.
The
Charmander's
flame on the tip of its tail
Oh.
is
Oh,
the primary focus of a Charmander. In fact, I would say that it's the only thing anybody cares about. Which is a little bit depressing because you saw a Charmander, what a cute little boy he was.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
His
He had
sharp
cute
little
That was the
teeth
first
and
thing I
his little
noticed.
feetsies and everything else.
Exactly. I couldn't put it better myself. All right, so like we always do.
Sweet little Stalin.
No, his name's not Stalin. Why do you want to call it Stalin?
I don't know. It just kind of came to me. I never heard that name before, but
That's the best way to name your Pokemon. Just let it flow to you.
That's right.
I'm gonna call him Dave.
Dave. How Curtis calls his Pokemon. Dave.
Curtis. Who's
Jim,
Curtis? This
Bob.
is Mr. Curtis.
Yeah, his name is Mr. Curtis.
Oh
all right.
My God.
Honorifics are very important.
Okay, well, excuse me.
All right, so like we always do, I know it's been a while, but we always read, there are some unique Pokedex entries. Some people's Pokedexes seem to have been programmed weird. I don't know why. The main offender is, of course, Mr. Ash Ketchum. So I'm going to read his Pokedex.
Possessed by a rogue Rotom, something like that.
Well, Rotoms weren't really utilized in Pokedexes until more recent years, so you can't really blame it on them.
Yeah, it's probably fake news. I don't know about those Rotom dexes, you know what I mean? Can't trust
What do you...
them.
You can't trust them?
Yeah, well, they're newer. There's not enough data to back it up. I mean, it's like, you gotta... Come on.
Yep, all those classic handwritten ones.
I'm super confused. Are you suggesting that they're not real? Or that...
No, I think they're real. I just think the Rotom dexes, I mean, I don't know. People
you think they're giving
stuff.
false information?
I think the information in the Rotom dexes can be forged, possibly. I think the OG dexes from the older... I mean, we've cataloged stuff about Pokemon since, from Johto, Kanto. Those catalogs, those entries have been verified and independently proven by a lot of different professors. So, Rotom dexes, I don't know. I've heard there's some kind of data glitches and stuff. They don't always report the things they should. They're not exactly accurate sometimes. But
well, let's agree to disagree.
Just a rumor.
In the coming
realize
years,
we had a conspiracy theorist in class.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what you sound like.
God, you guys are both bullying the one student that's actually in the classroom. It's kind of mean, dude.
That's right.
Well, in the coming years, there will come a point where we will have to rely upon the Pokedex entries that come from Rotom Pokedexes because these older Pokedexes, from Kanto and Johto and even a Hoenn region, don't include Pokemon from different regions. So
right. That makes sense.
Does it make sense though? It seems pretty exclusionary on their part, if you ask me.
I mean,
listen, I think all Pokemon should be in every Pokedex. No reason for them not to be.
Take that up to the powers that be. Talk to Oak, man. Talk to
I will.
Talk to those
he
people.
entrusted me with his Charmander, so I think we have a pretty good rapport.
That's true.
Okay. Now, I've been trying to say for a while these unique Pokedex entries, so I'm going to read them off right now. So Ash actually has two different Pokedex entries for Charmander. I don't know who this kid is, where he keeps getting these different unique Pokedexes, but whatever. Anyways, the first one says, Charmander. A flame burns on the tip of its tail from birth. It is said that a Charmander dies if its flame ever goes out. All right, so we kind of still already had that information.
Right.
His second Pokedex entry says, Charmander, the lizard Pokemon. Charmander's health can be gauged by the fire on the tip of its tail, which burns intensely when it's in good health. All right, so this is another one of those entries where it's saying that the intensity of the flame on Charmander's tail is directly linked to its health, but doesn't say anything about its emotions or its mood at the time. So still kind of a discrepancy there. This last one comes to us from Serena's Pokedex. It says Charmander, the lizard Pokemon. When the tip of Charmander's tail burns brightly, it indicates that it's in good health. All right, so that's it. That's all the unique Pokedexes. They are unique, but honestly, they are still very similar to what we already have.
Yeah, pretty much.
And to finish off the lesson, I want to read one source here that is, non-peer reviewed. It's a little bit experimental, but I think it's good that we read these and use a critical eye to understand a little bit more about Charmander. All right. So this doesn't come to us from a Pokedex. This says Charmander is a bipedal reptilian Pokemon with a primarily orange body and blue eyes. Its underside, from the chest down, and soles of its feet are cream-colored. It has two small fangs visible in its upper jaw and two smaller fangs in its lower jaw. A fire burns at the tip of this Pokemon's slender tail and has blazed there since Charmander's birth. The flame can be used as an indication of Charmander's health and mood. Burning brightly when the Pokemon is strong, weakly when it is exhausted, wavering when it's happy, and blazing when it's enraged. It is said that Charmander dies if its flame goes out. However, if the Pokemon is healthy, the flame will continue to burn even if it gets a bit wet, and is said to steam in the rain. Charmander can be found in hot mountainous regions. However, it is found far more often in the ownership of trainers, as shown in Pokemon Snap? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what Pokemon Snap is. Charmander exhibits...
It's a barbershop quartet where they kind of... They have Pokemon Charmanders dance with them.
Is it? You know? Oh, I guess that would make sense that, is showing that it's owned by trainers. All right, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Charmander exhibits pack behavior, calling others of its species if it finds food.
Nice. I didn't know it was a pack Pokemon.
I have just discovered that I now have a tremendous fear of carnivorous little Charmanders chasing after me to run me down.
That sounds like a hell of a way to die. I wouldn't complain about that.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, you'd see them coming from a mile away. I mean, first of all, they aren't very dexterous.
What if an entire pack of Charmanders came at you at night and all you see is the little flame on their tails just coming towards you? That'd be the creepiest thing. It'd be crazy. Crazy.
I mean, you'd be like, oh my god, is that a Charmander or a Charmeleon or a Charizard? They all have flames on their tails.
Or is like that a little person with a torch running towards me?
Or is that any number of other fire-type Pokemon that have extraneous flames?
Granted, I actually heard from my mom, who used to have a Charmander, that they actually are really
Oh, yes, your mom. I know her well.
Do you?
That's right.
I know her very well.
Huh. Should be sure to ask her about that.
We spent a lot of time together.
Cool. Oh, yeah, I remember you taught her, too. She told me the other day, she said, and I quote, Professor Jacob taught me a thing or two. And I was like, that's really cool. I thought that was really sweet of you to do that. So, whatever you've been teaching her, keep at it, please. But she
Well, let me tell you, she is a fast learner. It didn't take much effort on my part.
Yeah. She says that's where I get it
I don't remember her being in one of our previous classes.
It's okay. It was a private lesson. Anyways, continue, Corbin.
Gotcha. She must be really smart to be able to have a private lesson with you. I wish I had one.
I don't get private lessons.
Yeah, but apparently they're really bad at hide and seek, is what she told me. So
true. I've never played hide and seek with one, but I imagine it would be very easy, considering that if it wanted to truly hide itself, it would die.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel that way about myself.
Anyways,
what's next?
Listen, I know you're stalling. All right, so
God, you're right. I am stalling. I don't want to do this. I failed.
Because I know what comes next. You know what comes next. Now, this is my favorite part. This is my very favorite part of every lesson, and it is when I get to ask you guys some questions, because it is a pop quiz. Get your pens out, and make sure you have a piece of paper.
No. God, why?
I'm ready.
Look, I can't remember since it's been so long. Didn't I fail the first three, or not fail, but Curtis got a higher score than me.
Fail. Yes, that is true. Curtis did. Well, Mr. Curtis did get a higher score than you. But hey, listen, don't be worried.
My time will come.
Yeah, listen, he is a tried and true student. Okay, he's taken this class many times. I'm sure he has at least kept some of the knowledge. So don't feel discouraged.
All right,
everybody, works at their own pace, and you'll get there, buddy. Hey, you'll get there.
In time, that's what I tell myself. Okay, fine. Let's get this out of the way. All right, I got my pad up. I got my got my Pokedex ready. I'm ready to go. Let's just.
Pokedex is away, sir.
Okay, fine. Sorry. All right.
No, this is a closed book quiz.
All right.
No notes. No nothing.
Well, I got my laptop, and I'm gonna send you the answer like we do. Okay.
Okay. As long as you're not looking up the answers on your laptop.
I am
not. Your Rotom laptop. That's a Rotom laptop, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh shit, it is.
Do you trust that? Do you trust that it's the only Pokedexes?
I don't know about. I guess it's fine. All right, let's go. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. Now this is going to be an interesting quiz because, like I said, most of the Pokedex entries for Charmander kind of covered the exact same thing. That its tail has fire. Blah 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 blah. So I'm going to use the it's going to be a bit of a shorter quiz. The short answer question portion is going to be a little bit shorter, and the second half is going to be comprised of more of an essay based kind of thing. I'll explain more when we get there.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. Besides life force, what else can you determine by a Charmander's tail? So please take the time to answer. Send me your answers individually. Boom. Okay, wow. Please be quiet. Other students are still using this time to
yeah, because Curtis is slow as fuck.
Okay. So, I have both of the answers in. Mr. Corbin, you responded with emotions. That you can determine a Pokemon's or Charmander's emotions by the flame on its tail.
Yep.
And Mr. Curtis responded emotional state. You guys both got it exactly correct. Now, can either of you tell me the difference? Now, this is kind of knowledge that's, let's say it's not backed up by the Pokedex entries, but what can you say is, how can you tell if a Charmander is, let's say, excited? What would its tail be doing?
Do we have to say it or we type it again?
You can tell me. This is for, just
its
tail
benefit. Starts its fire on its tail starts wavering back and forth.
That's right.
It's exactly it, wavering back and forth. But if it were to be feeling weak or just not good, what would that look like on Charmander's tail?
It would start to diminish.
Yeah, it gets real small. That's right.
Exactly. You know what? I'm very proud. You both answered correctly, and Mr. Curtis, your response was very well thought out and not in and didn't have numerous typos. So I'm glad to see that you took those 5 months to really work on your typing skills.
Yes, I was trying so hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
About time.
Question number 2. Now this is a true or false question. If it is caught in the rain, a Charmander will die. Is that true or false? You can see you're typing, taking your time.
Got it. Noted.
Once again, please, while the other students are giving me their answers. No.
Easy.
I need you to be quiet. Okay.
Step it up, Mr. Curtis. Guess who's gonna take the W this time? Your boy.
Hey, listen here. I'm trying really hard to type real good for this professor.
I know.
So it's taking me a little bit longer.
You're doing so great. All right. So once again, the question was true or false. If it is caught in the rain, a Charmander will die. The answer given to me by Corbin is false, and Mr. Curtis responded with, no, sir, false. So I like the little extra flair you added there, Mr. Curtis.
No, sir.
Once again, you are both absolutely correct. A Charmander will not necessarily die in the rain. A Charmander will die if its flame goes out. Now, that may happen, I suppose, if it's a very, very intense rain, or if it's raining very heavily, or if it's thrown into a pool, probably. We don't know. We'll find out. But once again, you guys both got that.
I hope not. I hope not.
Question number 3. Now, this is the last question. This is the last part of this section. Okay.
For all the marbles.
No, well, not quite, because then we have a essay question.
Oh,
after
balls.
this.
All right.
Oh, balls.
When does a Charmander's tail start to burn? Please, once again, respond to me privately so that the other students do not see the answers.
Boom!
Right. Okay,
Boom.
So we have answers from everybody. Corbin responded with, once it's born. And Mr. Curtis responded with, oh, you were doing so well, Mr. Curtis. He responded with...
I'm sorry, I had to go faster because Corbin was picking on me.
Hey, he's the student. You're the teaching assistant, all right? Don't let him...
You're right.
What's
don't
wrong?
let
Letting
him,
the student get to you, huh?
Don't let him get to you. Hey, look at me.
Big
Look
baby.
at me.
Hey,
Look at me, Mr. Curtis.
I'm here.
You're a big, strong boy, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
Now,
that's all I ever wanted to hear.
These answers, however, I'm a little bit less proud of.
You suck,
You did
Weedle
right.
string.
You did right when it did born, and then trying to correct yourself, you wrote get born.
When it did born. Get born.
But I understand that you're trying to say when it's born. So you and Corbin are absolutely correct. A Charmander's tail starts to burn right from birth. In fact, so early that it can potentially burn itself. Okay, so that was the easy part. Now, I have the next part, since this is one of those second thought Pokemon, in that it's not really thought of that much. I want you guys to... What are we here? We're scientists, right? Well, we're biologists, and that's, I guess, kind of scientists. I don't know. It's a loose definition, I say, but,
Pokeologists.
Whoa,
but
no,
what do
biologists are definitely scientists. Come on.
What do scientists do? They ask questions, all right? And they do so using the scientific method.
Right.
And therefore, we need hypotheses. So, for this essay portion, I want you to each give me a question and then a hypothesis that could be the answer to that question. I want you to think about what we know about Charmander and what you've seen from Charmander. I want you to ask a question that hasn't been covered in any of these Pokedex entries, all right? And I want you to provide me some kind of hypothesis. Now, this hypothesis, it doesn't need to be correct. Obviously, a hypothesis, it doesn't have to be fully correct. That's what testing is for. All right? So as long as you give me some kind of thoughtful question and then some kind of possible answer to that question, you will get full marks for this portion of the quiz. Would anybody like to go first?
Ooh.
Please, not all at once, students. Not all at once.
Are we? Do I need to write this down, or do you want
tell
us
me
just
directly.
to spit it out?
Okay.
I want you to tell me directly.
Go ahead,
all right?
Mr. Curtis. Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, no, I'm still forming my hypothesis.
Okay, well, let me give you an example one that could give you guys some time to think of yours.
Okay, that would help.
Well, I was reading these. Obviously, the main focus here is on Charmander's tail, and that it starts burning from birth, and that it burns when it's happy, and gets weak when it's sad. But my question is, why does it burn? What is the fuel that is lighting the flame at the tip of this Charmander's tail? Now, obviously, I don't fully know, but my hypothesis is that it has to do with something involving its diet. I think that its caloric intake, it eats food, and then it changes that food into some kind of fire. Now, the fire is primarily used for attacking, because, of course, Charmander can breathe fire. It can shoot embers out of its mouth, but I think the excess gets burned off somewhere safe at the tip of its tail.
Huh.
So that's kind of an example of what I'm looking for here. Does anybody have possible questions for me?
I got it.
Okay, Mr. Curtis. Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear what you
sorry.
have. I'm definitely not using these as tests for my assignment from Professor Oak. This is not why I'm doing this.
Okay, great. Exactly. I'd never doubted you,
Good.
Professor. Thank you so much.
I would never do that. I would, of course, give
here-
you credit if
exactly.
I were to.
Of course not. Yes. Right. Exactly. So my question was, thank you, Professor.
Yes. Wet your lips.
My question was, how is the flame connected to the life force of the Pokemon? And my answer to that is that there are specially developed sphincters on the tip of the tail that control the rate of spewing of oxidizing material, and they flex in accordance to the subconscious state of the Pokemon.
Yes. So its emotional state is linked to its tail sphincters. This is what you're
right.
hypothesizing here. Very good. Very good.
That's
Full
right.
marks for you, Mr. Curtis. Full marks.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Professor. Thank you. See, I knew it.
All right. Now, Corbin,
Yes.
I'm going to give you an extra challenge. Give me a question that does not involve Charmander's tail.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wait, I have to present it as a hypothesis, or actually ask you a
So-
question?
Ask a general question about Charmander, and then answer it with a hypothesis.
Okay. I got one. Why does Charmander only have 4 baby teeth? And here's the reason I think why. Charmander is not fully carnivorous yet. I don't think he's ripping up stuff
Interesting.
with his mouth. I don't think he's chowing down on a bunch of heavy meats. If anything, he's probably eating grubs. He's probably eating bugs and stuff like that, which granted that as a meat and protein. But I don't know. He might eat a few plants here and there. He might eat
Maybe some kind of vomit or regurgitation from his parent Charizards, maybe?
Look, he's not a bird Pokemon. I don't think Charmanders are about that, but that could be the case. But here's the thing. 4 teeth, he's not chewing a whole lot, so he's not eating anything big. He's not going to be chowing down on a Rhyhorn. He's not going to be, eating anything beefy. He's not going to be eating a Tauros with those tiny little teeth. I mean,
who could eat a Taurus? Listen, if we could eat Tauruses, then we would have solved that roaming Taurus problem way earlier.
That's true.
That's
God.
right.
They're poisonous, actually.
All right,
But yeah,
I am very proud of you,
4 teeth.
Corbin.
It's partially carnivorous, and I think it mostly feeds on soft bugs. Yeah, like bug Pokemon. Boom.
Perfect.
Huh.
Once again, full marks to you both.
Ooh, got him.
Now, I am very excited to announce that both of you, for this first test back from
Yes.
our extended spring break,
Yes.
have
Suck
both
it, Mr.
received-
Curtis. Suck.
have both received 100s, except for Corbin, who
What?
did receive a 99 because
What?
he was interrupting other students while they were trying to take the
that's
test. and I
not.
had to,
Oh, you have to grade
I had
people
to
based
remove some
on.
marks.
No, you have to grade people based on the merit of their score. You cannot grade it based on interrupting people in class.
Listen, Corbin, I have to punish you somehow. I'm not
No.
allowed to do detention anymore after that. Well, we won't talk about it. I'm not allowed to do detention anymore, so I have to do punishments to make you understand which behaviors are bad. And bad behavior is talking while other students are trying to take their quiz. So you get a 99, which is still, hey, for your track record, is excellent. It's wonderful. It's not going to get you to catch up with Mr. Curtis.
No,
but,
it's fine.
you'll
But I
get
want to
there.
beat him.
Hey, buddy, you'll get there.
God.
Good work, Corbin. I'm
Put
so
your
proud
hand
of
down. I'm
you.
not
You
giving
did
your,
well
your
today.
fat little chubby hand a high five, Mr. Curtis. Put
Corbin?
it down.
Come on.
Corbin, do you want 95? Give him a high five right now.
Fine.
Perfect. All right.
Yes.
Now, that concludes our lesson today on Charmander, the lizard Pokemon. And I am so excited to announce that our next lesson will cover Charmander's evolution. Can anybody tell me what that is?
Tangela.
It's not Tangela. We're very far away from learning about Tangela. Mr. Curtis, do you have a guess?
Charmandleon.
Yes,
Charmandleon.
you get points for trying. Very close.
Charizard.
No, one too far. Go back one step.
Chameleon.
Definitely Charmeleon.
You know what? That's right. You just said it with a weird accent. Then Charmander's evolution is Charmeleon. So we will talk about him in next lesson.
Yeah, Charmeleon. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But until then, class is dismissed.